Pleasure now to welcome in the current BYU Football Cornerbacks coach, friend of the program, Jernaro Gilford, joins us on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline via Zoom. Jernaro, great to have you back on BYU Sports Nation. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm amazing. It's great to be back.
Jernaro, let's start here. It's been a crazy time in America, and we talked to the great pastor and author and former BYU alum Derwin Gray yesterday, and he gave us some great insight into what we can do to make changes in America and how we can really show that Black Lives Matter and whatnot. Jernaro, you're in a unique position like Derwin Gray in that you were an athlete at BYU. You played cornerback at BYU, had that experience. So how can we make this experience good for not just you, but for your players and help people feel safe at BYU and in Utah and in America specifically?
Just understanding the whole situation. When I talk to people, I'll always tell them it's like we all know right from wrong. It's like if any of our kids were getting bullied and they were at school, right? We would all want somebody to eventually step up and say, you know what, stop, that's not right, or whatever the case may be. So for me, I always explain it like we've been bullied for so long, talking, screaming, yelling, walking, running, fighting for help, just fighting for help, and nobody has stepped up and stopped the bully from bullying us. And now people are finally starting to step up, and it's going to take everybody. It's not just us. We can't do it alone. And we're in a time right now where we're all together anyway because of the pandemic. So since we're all together, we might as well all just stay together and fight this bully off. That's how I feel that it'll help us, knowing that everybody has our back, that everybody sees it. And of course, everybody's saying that Black Lives Matter. Of course, it absolutely does, and we understand that all lives matter. That's not the point, But we're just trying to get a even playing field and make sure that everybody understands and everybody sees what's going on, and everybody knows right from wrong.
Well said, and that's what we've learned the last couple of days and the last week or so is it's not enough for us to say, yeah, I'm not racist. We have to be anti-racist, as Derwin Gray said yesterday. We have to do what you said, which is be proactive in anti-bullying, if you will, anti-racism. So absolutely, we are completely on board with this, and I'm excited to do that and be helpful, right? Let's talk a little bit of football. So obviously voluntary workouts began on Monday. That's a thing that you guys aren't involved in, but the guys are in the facility getting tested and making sure they are good to go. What does that mean for the program to have the guys back in? Because you haven't been with them since the middle of March.
It's a great thing to have guys back. And I'm not sure of who's all back because it is voluntary. But it's a great thing that the guys can come back and start just getting acclimated back to football and working out and running and lifting and stuff like that. We're in the beginning of June, so that gives them about 2 months to actually get in shape, get prepared, and we're just going to prepare like we're going to play game one.
Jernaro Gilford with us on BYU Sports Nation. He is the cornerbacks coach at BYU. In the recent past, you have spoken about your excitement to have a guy like Chris Wilcox back, and why not? He brings back a ton of speed, experience. He's coming off a pretty serious injury, but he's 100% healthy. You have D'Angelo Mandel, Isaiah Heron, among others. What do you think about this group collectively, and why do they make you so excited about the future of the BYU secondary?
Oh, especially with the guys that you just named. They've been with me for 2+ years now. I mean, with Chris is going on 5, but the other guys they've been with me for 2 and 3 years now. They understand the whole scheme, what we want from them, and they're finally starting to step up to the challenge and being more confident in everything that we're going to ask them to do. And it's going to be a lot. Nothing's going to change. We're still going to ask them to play man to man on certain receivers and stuff like that. So they can just be extensions of me on the field now, you know, and they can teach our younger guys who we have coming in, the new guys. So they can take a lot off of my plate, and it's going to help them become better leaders as they get older and older.
Are those the top three guys in the mix at the two corner spots right now? Chris Wilcox, D'Angelo Mandel, and Isaiah Heron, kind of going into 2020?
Man, you know what? Again, like for me, it's always open competition, and that's how I like to coach. So it's going to be Chris Wilcox, D'Angelo Mandel, Isaiah Heron, Keenan Ellis, Hayden Livingston, who just moved from he moved positions from safety to corner with me. Then we have a freshman coming in, Micah Harper from Arizona, who's similar to a Mike Shelton as far as just the IQ for the game, the plays that he makes, knowledge for the game is just very, very high. Then we have a JC guy coming in whose mentality is different from the guys that I have, and he's going to bring a different type of attitude to the team. And again, he's a guy who can run. You know, he was a 10-600 guy. So we'll have some great competition, and everybody's going to have to be on their best every single day.
Who are you referring to as the JC guy again?
Jock Wilson.
Jock Wilson, that's right.
Yep. So I mean,
excited about him.
We have some guys. Yeah. So we have some guys who are going to be ready for the competition. You know, we'll have 5 or 6 guys who can really play, and all of them are going to be ready to compete. So they know it's every day in practice is vying for a spot.
Jernaro, we recently spoke with Zane Anderson, and he mentioned that he had spent a little bit of time going to cornerback, and he can play safety and was a linebacker last year. He's got great versatility, great speed. He's one of the top defenders and top experienced guys on this team. What's the likelihood that we see Zane Anderson playing some cornerback this year?
Very likely, and he's a interesting guy because he is a guy who we can put in the post, or we can put at strong safety and guard big tight ends, or if a team has a big wideout that can run, we can now match them and put Zane there, a guy who is 6'2", 210, but at the same time can still run a 4.4. So he's very, very interesting, and again, it's going to be some competition come fall camp, which is going to be great as far as the linebackers, corners, and safeties. And when we meet now, as far as a staff, we feel like we have great depth all around everywhere, and it's going to bring out the best in everybody.
Jernaro, for a couple of guys that aren't quite or never have been at the 4.4 speed level, what's that like to be 6'2" and run a 4.4?
I mean, the bad thing is when you're 6'2" and run a 4.4, you might not be as quick as the other guys. So you still have to learn to do stuff and learn to move your feet. Of course, you're big and you can run, but at the same time, you still have to have the mental capacity to play the game, the high IQ, the ability to make plays. And at the end of the day, whether you run a 4.4 or a 4.7, if you can't make the plays, it really doesn't matter.
What was your fastest 40 ever?
So during my pro day, I was timed low 4.4. So I always just say 4.4.
We had this debate when Spencer said he could run a 4.940 because Harvey Unga ran a 4.9 or something, and I was like, "You're not as fast as Harvey. What are you doing?" So we ran, and it was like close, but it wasn't quite 4.9. So we had this debate. So are you saying if you run a 4.9, is that a 4.4?
It's a 4.4, right, Jernaro?
Is that a 4.4?
I'm gonna give it to you. Yeah.
I think it is, but it is a stretch. The guys that are like 4.42, there's some justification there, right? Yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah, which is where we live.
Close enough.
We tap in birdies. We don't actually make birdies. Well, maybe Spencer does. Who is the fastest corner on the team?
You know what? I'm really not sure, man. I don't think we didn't get a chance to time 40s this year because of the whole pandemic thing. But I mean, a few guys can run. D'Lo can run. Chris, of course, can run. Keenan Ellis is actually deceivingly fast. When I had George Udo, he is explosive. I wouldn't be surprised one bit if he ran the fastest. Again, if Zane with me, he's another guy who's very explosive. It's a toss-up, honestly. I'm not sure.
All right, to be determined as we approach fall camp for BYU football. Let's finish with this. We've been reliving some of the great moments in BYU sports history with some former BYU greats. You fall into that category, Jernaro, with the game-sealing interception against Utah in 2001. Take us back inside that play, what you saw, what happened, what you felt, and relive that play with us on BYU Sports Nation.
You know what? It was a lot coaching. I was blessed to have Coach Mitchell as a coach, and he gave me the green light to always take chances, honestly. And I knew they needed a first down to get in field goal range. And I just remember thinking to myself, if he does anything, if this receiver breaks down in any way, I'm just taking a chance. And he broke down, and I took a chance, and there we go. But and everybody, they always tell me, like, if he would have ran a double move, he would have scored. And I'm like, yeah, he probably would have. But that's the life of a playing corner. You take chances. You have to take risk, and you have to be confident enough to know the situations. So I took a chance and sealed the game.
How come you got caught?
So let me tell you. Let me tell you, okay? So for the people who don't remember that's when I had my knee injury. I got hurt in the first quarter. So that's when I had to go to the locker room and get some things done to come back and play. So that's why I had the knee sleeve on. So, I wasn't as mobile as I would have been. No excuses. I got caught. Hey, it is what it is.
It's more of a 4.9 40 than a 4.4, right?
Yeah.
You still ran 50 yards. You could have run out of the stadium because the clock would have expired. You could have just run out.
Yeah, but I wanted to score. I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't want to. No, I wanted to score so bad. Like, I wanted to get in the end zone. Like, it wasn't even – that's not even an argument. I wanted to get in the end zone. I was mad.
Jernaro.
But the quarterback took a good angle, so I had to kind of cut in a little bit, and then he got me. So.
Yeah. And of course, you could have just gone down, but no, just
No,
get out of there. No, let's go.
No, not in that game. In any other game, yeah, you take a knee, you run out of bounds. That game, nah, it's no going down. We're going to pour it on.
Jernaro, you're a legend even without scoring the touchdown. It's great to talk to you, my friend. We appreciate the insight into BYU football and into how we can all be better, man. Much love to you.
No, thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Jernaro Gilford on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Deseret First, you know why, we show how.
I love Jernaro Gilford for a lot of reasons, and what he said really matters, right, regarding race relations. But also in that game, some people have said that's the loudest they've heard it, and there have been some great games there, right? I have a fun story behind that game I could share another day, how I got into that game.
Yes, Jarom.
For free.
Find a way.
Anyway, Jernaro picks that off, and the undefeated season stays alive because the drive before, Luke Staley had scored on the pitch to the short side into the end zone, and the stadium's just going crazy. It was a special night.
I love the way
sealed with that play.
Yeah, I love one that he is involved in that moment, and I love the way he coaches his guys. And if you've walked into a room and seen him smile, like, you can have the worst day ever, and see that guy smile, and it changes everything. Like
he wears a backwards hat
he's so
always
great
on the sideline. Like he's just having fun.
He's a happy guy. I love it.
I love it.